Live free and be happy, baby.
Yeah. So I need to know. That's what I need to know. How do you feel about Snoop's albums on No Limit as far as musically?
I
Because
really
me
like.
personally, I was see me. I was a Snoop fan. Well, no, coming into it when I was actually an Easy E fan, and I've been loyal forever. So coming in, I never listened to Snoop. I used to fight in grammar school and elementary school about Easy E and Snoop, and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Death Row against Ruthless and stuff.
Ruthless. Yeah, yeah.
And so, but Snoop, you can't hit the Chronic and Doggy Style.
Okay,
That's
so,
like they classics. Um, the Dog Father, I don't know. I think he said he was going through. You say you can't hear me?
no, you good.
You can hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. The Dog Father, he was saying how he was going through. I know he was going to court fighting a case, I think, and there was a lot of stuff at Death Row. So I think that album was terrible. I never really listened to it in recent years to re-listen and give it another chance, but I didn't really like that Dog Father album. And so then he went to No Limit. But I know you being from the West Coast, you listen to the music differently
Yeah.
than me.
So
It's like, you know, me judging some Louisiana music.
right. So the first album, I loved it. The Game is to be sold, not to be told. I loved it.
Yeah,
It's a traditional No Limit album from what we know No Limit to
exactly.
be. The second album I thought was trash. The No Limit Top Dog. That's a bitch. Please get down on your mother knees.
Hmm.
The only song I like from that album is the Snooper Fella song with him, Mia X, Silk, C Murder, Mystical, and Goldie Low. Like that's Ghetto Symphony. I'm sorry, Ghetto Symphony. The Ghetto Symphony
Yeah,
song. And then the other one is a Snooper Fella song where he talks about like Cinderella. He tells a Cinderella story, but as Snoop Dogg. That was really dope how he did it creatively. And then at the beginning of that album is Dolomite, which later I figured out was a real person, was a real thing. I didn't know that back then. I didn't know about
yeah,
Dolomite back then. But then when I see the Eddie Murphy did the movie Dolomite, I said, that's what Snoop Dogg was talking about on his album, No Limit Top Dog. And so outside of that, like I didn't like No Limit Top Dog. The third album, I liked it a lot. I felt like I know the second album P let Snoop up come back to the Cali and do his thing. I wasn't for the sound. The last album though, he had Timberland doing beats on there. He had Dre. He
uh-huh.
had some No Limit stuff on there, and I think it was a good mix. That last album, The Last Meal,
Yeah,
and I really like. He tried to do an NWA reunion. We had Ice Cube, MC Ren, all on one track. Um, and then the song with P, Magic, and Snoop. They tried to remake the Down for My Niggas song, basically. Uh, but I really like that song. And that just had a good kind of vibe to it. Like I stay on point like Stacy at Sugar Free, I believe it was.
uh-huh.
Hey, I
Yeah,
liked the last bill. But overall, my experience, my thoughts on Snoop, No Limit altogether. If I could rate it 1 through 10 on all three albums, I give it a strong 8. I give it a strong 8. He get 2 points
yeah,
off for the No Limit Top Dog album.
yeah. That's about what I judge it to. And I feel the exact same way. The first one was like a No Limit album, even though he sounded comfortable, but it was still like he was getting comfortable,
It was
like
different. If
rapping
he
on
had,
new
yeah,
beats, but it still was. But the Top Dog, I didn't really like that at all. It
yeah,
was like he was trying to get back to his West Coast because he probably was like he heard probably so much criticism from his West Coast fans, like, oh no, this ain't the Snoop Dogg you rapping on all these down south bounce beats and all that.
right.
We want that West Coast. So he tried to get that back on the second one,
Yeah,
and I don't think it worked too well. But on the third one is when, like you say, he got Dre and he got
yeah,
Timberland, got a different mixture of beats. and
Yeah, he
the
had
third
his
one,
few.
like the last meal, I think his experience was more of a him getting himself together experience than him actually being a successful artist on No Limit. He just brought some credibility to No Limit to a certain extent, which No Limit really brought some credibility to him at the same time, as far
Right,
as
right.
what he was through, and he needed to be with No Limit. No Limit didn't really need Snoop as much as Snoop needed No Limit.
Exactly.
They just gave him
Exactly.
another face as big as Peter, that can stand side by side with him, and you
Yeah,
know,
definitely. That's crazy. That's one of the biggest things that happened in hip hop that nobody really talks about. I feel like is when Snoop got with No Limit, because
yeah,
that was basically like LeBron James going to the Miami Heat, forming the Big Three. You know what I mean? Like that's what the equivalence of that
yeah,
was. You know what I'm saying? Like the
yeah,
nigga, nigga Snoop went with P. What? But at the same time, a lot of people thought Snoop wasn't gonna be Snoop no more because everything that was happening with Death Row and how that kind of ended with Death Row. But then P really breathed life back into Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Like
oh yeah,
Snoop was on board. Snoop was like, "They got my back. I got their back. Let's roll."
yeah. I think because Snoop was really like, I believe Snoop, just like Tupac to a certain extent, Snoop was forcing himself to play a role that was bigger than him. Like as far as the gangster, the gang. I know he's in the gang, he gang bang and stuff like that, but as far as the level of a crip that he probably had to be with Death Row, I don't think Snoop is that type of a gang bang. I think he's the type of person that's in a gang, but I don't think he's one of those like super. He did the crip walk, he represented, but uh, if he gave him a chance, he can relax.
Right.
You ain't gotta, go so hard on the gang. And I feel like once he left, he still did it, but he was more free
Yeah.
after he left No Limit. Like I can be Snoop Dogg now. Snoop Dogg is actually bigger than what I'm representing.
Right. Yeah. You got to imagine once, as far as the gang banging thing, you got to imagine. Well, first of all, look who was the CEO at Death Row. It was Suge, who was a Blood.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
in the streets, that just don't go together at all. So for Snoop to even be
no,
there, and to actually do music, put albums out, get paid from Suge, right? As far as the street life, that's unheard of. There's in real life, there's no Bloods messing with no Crips like that at all in real life. And then you got to imagine also once you get with P and you make a certain amount of money, as far as the Crip thing and all that, like yeah, technically you might be a Crip still, but you're making so much money, you don't live where Crips live at no more. You feel me? You don't live in the hood no more. He said once he got with No Limit, everybody had a house, two guns, and a bank account. And you was and at that time he was in the country club in Baton Rouge. There ain't no Crips and Bloods in Baton Rouge like that, not to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but
right.
not like in L.A. I know that for sure.
Oh no, no, no. In Louisiana, they start gang banging when as far as Southern Louisiana, I'm like Northern Louisiana, like close to I think Arkansas or certain
So,
places they gang bang, but like Southern Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, they didn't start gang banging really until Lil Wayne started gang banging. Yeah. Um,
and so yeah, you
but
making
I
that
think
kind
with Snoop, one thing I want to say with Snoop, you would have thought like that with him when he was with Death Row. Like he say, P when he got to No Limit, like you got a house, a car, and two guns and some money. I would think that's in my mind when Snoop got there. I'm thinking this is little bitty petty, this crumbs of Snoop. Like you
of right,
Snoop
right,
Dogg, so that just show you how much he was being neglected and used and abused while he was with Death Row. Like
right.
but if you happy with a house, a car, and two guns, and you Snoop Dogg, like you've been on since you was bigger
92.
than Tupac before
Right.
at one point. And back in them doggy style and chronic days. So it's like, man, just show
Well,
you,
Snoop Dogg is a different breed, right? His talent. I'm saying his talent, right? When Snoop Dogg first
Mhm.
came out, he was on the soundtrack of the movie. What was the cop movie?
Deep cover.
Yeah,
Deep
Deep
cover.
Cover. Yeah, but when Snoop came out, 187 on it. You know what I mean? Like when Snoop hit the
Mhm.
scene, he hit the scene. It took Tupac a while to hit the scene. Like he had the
Yeah.
Brenda songs and all that, but Tupac didn't really come around. Remember, Tupac was with Digital Underground and all that. It took Pac a while. When
He
Snoop
had to
hit,
get into the movies, I think. Like
right?
Pac, I think the movies helped Pac get to
But that was
a
kind
bigger
of
level.
Pac's thing, though. He went to school for theater. Pac was a
Mhm.
entertainer. That was Pac. He's an
Yep.
entertainer. Like that's what he went to school for. Snoop was trying to get out the hood,
Right.
and his talent
Right.
was just so different. Right, his voice is very unique. Right, the way he looked, his the brand of his look in itself. Right, tall, slender, with the hair, with the well back then he had the haircut, but as he
Mhm.
developed later, like his whole image. He, no disrespect, this dude looked like a Doberman Pinscher. Right, he looked like
I was
a
just about to say that.
you
Yep.
feel me? It's so
Remember the video when they turned him to the Doberman picture on the video, and you couldn't tell the difference really. Like,
bruh, I'm telling you. So Snoop, but going back to what we said earlier about the business side of things, you talk about him coming from Death Row to No Limit and how this little stuff you thought it was little crumbs to him. But imagine going back to he wasn't business savvy at all when he was with Death Row. He taught him
no,
about the music industry. He said nobody in music had money except No Limit. Master P had all the money. Master P, P Diddy, um, the independent people out here in the Bay, the Two Sharks, the E40s, but they didn't have the big money, but they had the independent money. They had their own money. They didn't have record label money. You know what I'm saying? Snoop had record label
mhm.
money as an artist. He had $400-500. You know what I mean? He rented a little house. Okay. He like, why you rent the house? You can buy this house. This house is in your name. I got it for you. Boom.
I
You
don't think
know.
he ever had nothing in his name before then. That's what he was saying. Like,
What crazy
no
say?
car, no house.
Crazy say. Eric, he say Pete give you a truck. Me and my wife a truck. Insurance paid up for 2 years. He said I didn't even know what insurance was before I got to No Limit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and so P really took care of his people. Talking about the disgruntled ones and all that. P gave you a shot. He took care of you.
Yep.
Salute to
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg.
man.
My homeboy, he met Snoop Dogg a couple years ago, and Snoop Dogg is really a humble individual from what I've been told, and he just seemed like a fun person in general, just to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like somebody that you would want to invite to a family barbecue. Like, call Snoop, let him come over. He
Yep.
gonna play dominoes. He gonna talk. He gonna play spades. He gonna talk trash. You feel me? He gonna be entertaining.
Yep.
He gonna talk to grandma, and he gonna play with the kids. And he
Yep.
gonna
All around the board.
everything. You feel me? So it's all good. We got love for Snoop. I know No Limit still got love. They got the Snoop Dogg, the cereal. They doing the cereal for Snoop Dogg. They
The chips.
the chip.
He put the chips out.
He put
Yeah,
the
he
chip
put
out.
them out.
Icon.
Actually, yeah, Super Bowl weekend. He a
Yeah,
marketing genius.
that's what
So
she.
he had it right on time for when Snoop performed at the Super Bowl. He was
Man,
they had the people, the whole team outside the stadium
passing them out the chips.
with passing them out. Yeah,
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, so salute to Snoop, and
man.
you know, I know he always show his honor and his gratefulness to Master P. Like,
The, the one thing I will say that kind of like threw me off after Snoop left No Limit was that I know Snoop was doing his own thing in his own lane, but to my knowledge, he never. This is the thing too. On a personal note, Snoop daughter and one of P's daughter are like best friends. So they stayed in contact and they always was hanging out playing with each other. So Snoop and P always had communication. They was always buddies. But during Snoop's second rise to fame, I didn't hear Silk on the album. I didn't hear P on the album. I didn't hear nobody Miller on any of Snoop's stuff. It's been most
nope.
recently within the past 3 years where Snoop and P really reconnected publicly. They've been hanging out behind the scenes, but publicly for the last like 3 years, it's been more active on TV. You know what I mean? So I just
Yeah,
kind of
they probably told. They probably told Snoop he can't hang with P as far as in the record label because I know it was something with. Can you hear me? I thought I
Yeah,
heard it. Yeah, I
yeah,
know. With P in the industry is, I know not that he was blackballed. I know he had put himself in a position where he wasn't dealing with the industry anymore. As far as
that's true.
I think it was some money with Universal or
Yeah,
something. He was
I was gonna say
saying,
after the Universal thing, yeah, yeah, because he took like 10 million from Universal. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
But after that, yeah,
he
I can
probably
see that. That
wasn't.
makes sense.
He might have told Snoop, "Look, man,
Yeah,
might
we
not
don't.
be a good look for you to
Yeah,
for us to publicly, for your money's sake and all that type of stuff."
I never thought about that, but you're right, bro. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because I never thought about it either. He really didn't have any of them on any albums or
Like a movie or
anything.
nothing. Like, and I know they all
Yeah,
busy. They all got families and stuff, but y- to my knowledge, they daughters been hanging out, chilling for the whole time. You know what I mean? So I know y'all communicate. Y'all going to
hmm
basketball games together and stuff, and y'all like different school functions together. You know what I mean? So how come you didn't highlight your boy to be on the album or do an intro or something? But to your point,
right.
after Pete got that money from Universal and kind of disappeared for a while, and Snoop was doing his thing, Snoop was like, I mean, Pete probably told Snoop, like you said, it might not be a good look for you if I'm involved with you doing. Continue to make your money, bro. And he like, I'm chilling, you know. You know, I got your back if anything go wrong. I'm here for you. He's still a soldier. Like,
Yeah, somebody got to make the money. You know.
man, man.
Live free and be happy, baby.
This your boy Crazy Alias Doc Holiday, 504 boy, thugged out with my homie.
Man,
Y'all know how we do it, man. Salute,
Crazy, that's
number
that.
soldiers worldwide.
no, it ain't no limit. 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 Ain't no limit to my hustle. No limit to my muscle. I've been grinding. Gotta make it out the struggle. No, it ain't no limit. 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 Ain't no limit to my work. No limit to my shine. I've been grinding. I got money on my mind. LFBH, live free, be happy. LFBH, LFBH, live free, be happy. LFBH, LFBH, live free, be happy. LFBH, LFBH, live free, be happy. LFBH.